Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with a weekly comic roundup. We did not do a roundup last week because I was dealing with a family emergency. Everything's fine now, well, relatively speaking. So, and this week, last week's books will be not all of them, but at least peppered out throughout the coming month. Anyways, let's start things off. We have a decently sized DC haul this week with Absolute Batman #7. Where we left off, Batman had uh, had had a pretty decent fight with Black Mask, and presumably the Joker called in Bane. So the issue opens with a young man, a child named Victor, in Tanzania. Well, he is in Tanzania at the moment, and his eyes begin bleeding. In Gotham, present day in Gotham, apparently a friend of Bruce Wayland's, Ozzy, and Harvey, and presumably also Selina, named Magic Malone, has died. And 1 week previously, Bruce went to see Matches, speak to Matches. He apparently Bruce is trying to get a construction job working at Arc M, but and Matches essentially set him up with it, but when he and got some information. However, when he goes to give Bruce the info on his phone, he dies rather messily. Bruce is apologetic about basically about kind of including all his friends in, well, being Batman. But Bruce apparently Matches has had managed to get in get got a lot of intel about Arkham. There are apparently even a list of names, including Isley, Strange, and also Dr. Victor Freeze. Who runs a company called V-Corps. And so, Batman breaks into V-Corps, gets some information about the what killed Matches. Apparently, it's a bacterium. But Batman manages to get into V-Corps and during a snowstorm in Gotham. Rather a rather powerful snowstorm. But Bruce takes some of the stuff in V-Corps, and among the things being among the things there are a frozen saber-tooth tiger, a frozen woolly mammoth, a frozen scarab. Apparently, getting the mammoth was an undertaking in and of itself, and also frozen in V-Corps are Victor Fries and his wife Nora, while his son, Victor Fries Jr., runs the company. Apparently they were believers in Cryotech, and in fact, when his affliction, when the accident happened in the beginning of the issue, he was frozen and basically to find a cure. But apparently, being frozen in the ice, Victor explains that he felt everything, every moment, and the pain. Ice grinds and twists. Ice isn't grace; it's fury. It is reckoning. The ice births monsters. Apparently, Victor can. The issue ends with Victor turning into that, presumably with the intention of freezing Bruce with his touch. And that is where the issue ends. Oh my. Definitely an interesting take on Mr. Freeze. But anyways, moving on though to our next book, we've got Absolute Green Lantern, #1. So, the issue opens. Hal Jordan is walking along the side of the road. A voice in his head is telling him that he is in the absence of light. He's a secret heart within every star, and telling Hal to be without fear. A cop basically pulls over next to him, and Hal's kind of babbling, but he's got his hand in one of his pockets. The cop asks him to ask Hal to show him his hand, and just like that, the cop is gone. His badges are left behind. Then Hal walks into enters a diner, asks for water, since he's been walking in the Nevada desert all day. But Lakers game is interrupted by footage from Evergreen, Nevada. Something has appeared. news has stopped from discussing it, but it is an emergency. 5 days previously, Hal was in Evergreen, Nevada, with Jon Stewart and Joe Mullion. But Joe has recently moved back to Evergreen, though, and apparently her ex-husband, Guy Gardner, is the chief of police, and he actually holds a very high regard as an officer, but they fought once upon a time. She still wears a wedding ring, but they are not married. But there's a bike rally in Barstow, which is causing bikers to show up. And suddenly, one of them splatters against a green energy field, the dome. And the lantern drops down with it. Commanded by this man named Abbott Stewart. I use it for man loosely, but Hal tells everyone in the diner about that, as well as the cop, and one of the diner patrons pulls Hal's hand out of his pocket. It's black. And Earl, the patron, is, well, the same thing that happens to him, happens to the cop, happens to him. Then, as Hal's trying to say, Hal explains the response to danger, but he gets shot, and suddenly the diner explodes with the black energy that is in Hal's hand. But he's hoping that maybe the gunshot will kill him, but nope, he's healing. When Joe shows up, covered in a green force field, and she puts Hal in one as well. And that is where the issue ends. So Hal's black hand, interesting, very interesting. Looking forward to seeing Guy show up. Hopefully Kyle will show up as well as and hopefully the few pages that John showed up in this issue will not be the only time John shows up. But anyways, moving on to our last book for the moment, we've got Absolute Superman number 6. So, where we left off, Kal-El was headed to Smallville. The issue opens in Deep Space 6 years previously, 8 days since Krypton exploded. Then it jumps forward little by little to 17 months, 14 days, and 14 days since the explosion of Krypton, as Cal's ship arrives in Earth orbit, and apparently, of course, Kryptonian physiology and yellow sunlight, yeah. Meanwhile, the Kents, Jonathan and Martha Kent, are discussing the fact that there hasn't been rain their farm in a while. And in fact, one of the neighbors, well, he got rained on quite. He got rained on quite a bit. The neighbor was just across the road. Apparently, Martha's heard that Lazarus Corp has drones that can manipulate weather. Jonathan thinks she's crazy, but however, a miracle arrives. A ship suddenly crashes into the farm and disappears around its occupant, Kal-El. And Cal passes out. Over the next while, Cal's powers begin to manifest. However, he is generally speaking just sleeping. However, at one point he ends up running across Kansas, and he would eventually help the Kents with farming, mainly picking up the tractor when it breaks down. So a sight that John will never get used to. However, Sol, the onboard computer of the ship, has recharged and has learned about everything that could be learned about Earth, and he has Cal has English downloaded into his mind. And apparently, the fleet of Lazarus Corp drones, which have manipulation capabilities, were taken down by Sol, leading to 3 straight days of rain. However, Lazarus Corp shows up. The Kents haven't sold their farm to Lazarus Corp, so they're apparently not allowed to have rain. But they're there for Cal. Cal flies off at the urging of the Kents. In the present, in Smallville, Lois Lane is looking into Martha Kent. At the Nevada Desert, Lazarus Corp Research R&D Center, Brainiac is talking with the head of Lazarus Corp. And the Lazarus Pit is deactivating, and the CEO comes out. The CEO being Ra's al Ghul, who states that once the sewer that salvation is close at hand for billions upon billions. Once the Superman kneels at the feet of his holy father, Ra's al Ghul, and that is where the issue ends. All right, I had the feeling that Ra's was going to be involved. It's an interesting choice to pit Ra's against Superman, but as opposed to Batman. But who knows? Maybe Lazarus Corp will end up have some interest in Gotham as well. Probably. But anyways, That's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.